He had worked at the same auto repair shop for 25 years. Nobody even knew his real name. They just called him Chief. He never talked much, did his job, and went home. But that day, when he saved a customer's life, everyone learned who he really was. Welcome to the Human Stories. Before we begin this powerful story, tell us in the comments which city you're watching from. And if you believe stories like this deserve to be told, hit that subscribe button to support the channel. Miller's Auto Repair on Jefferson Street was one of the oldest businesses in town. With its peeling paint sign, oil-stained concrete floors, and worn equipment, it wasn't much to look at. But it had one thing that set it apart from other repair shops: Chief. Nobody knew his real name. The records showed Robert M., but everyone just called him Chief. He came in at 7 a.m., left at 6 p.m. Same routine for 25 years. Never called in sick, never late, never complained. He was about 65, medium height with slightly hunched shoulders. His hands were covered in calluses, but everyone knew how skilled those hands were. Whatever car came in, he'd find the problem and fix it quietly. He didn't like to talk. He'd only give the necessary answers. "Engine's making a weird noise," you'd say, and he'd nod, pop the hood, listen for 5 minutes, then say, "Fuel pump, ready tomorrow." And he was always right. The younger guys at the shop used to try to mess with him at first. "Hey, Chief, you fight in Vietnam?" they'd joke. He'd just smile and keep working. Over time, everyone grew to love him, because when he was around, nothing ever went wrong. The rescue operation was perfect, too perfect. This couldn't be coincidence. And then someone spotted the tattoo on his arm. Delta Force, a mark only the most elite could carry. That Tuesday started like any other day. Chief had come in early as usual, drinking his coffee and planning which cars to start with. There were 3 other young workers at the shop: Mike, Danny, and Carlos. They were still new, still getting used to Chief's quiet ways. Around 2 p.m., there was a loud crash outside. Squealing brakes, metal hitting metal, then an explosion. Everyone dropped what they were doing and ran outside. There had been a terrible accident on Jefferson Street. A big truck had run a red light and slammed into a small car passing through the intersection. The car had flipped over and crashed into an electrical pole right in front of the shop. Smoke was rising from the car. Screams for help were coming from inside. Mike and Danny panicked. "Call an ambulance! Call the fire department!" they shouted. Carlos pulled out his phone, dialing 911. Chief wasn't running. He walked toward the car with quick but controlled steps. His eyes were analyzing the situation, the car's position, where the smoke was coming from, the condition of the electrical lines, like he'd done this hundreds of times before. "Chief, don't get close, it might explode," Mike yelled. But Chief didn't stop. He reached the overturned car, crouched down, and assessed the situation inside. The driver was unconscious but breathing. A young woman in the passenger seat was conscious but in shock. "Please help me," the woman whispered. That's when everyone saw Chief's true face. His movements had completely changed. It was like he'd gotten 20 years younger. His actions were precise, fast, but never panicked. First, he quickly circled the car. He checked the electrical lines, examined for gas leaks, calculated the angle from which the car needed to be extracted. Then, he turned to the young workers,
But his voice was completely different now. He was giving orders. "Mike, use that jack to secure the truck's rear wheels. Prevent the car from sliding. Danny, get that toolbox, quick. Carlos, direct traffic until the ambulance gets here. Don't let anyone near this area." The young guys didn't argue. The authority in Chief's voice made them move automatically. Chief crouched next to the overturned car's door. The door was stuck, but he placed his hand on the car's frame, found the right angle, and opened it in one try. Nobody understood how he did it. "Ma'am, can you hear me?" he said calmly to the woman. Yes, I can hear you. I'm so scared." "Don't be scared. I'm going to get you out, but you need to do exactly what I tell you. Understood?" The woman nodded. Chief examined the woman's body, trying to determine if she was able to move. He was acting like a professional medic. "Now, slowly extend your arm toward me. Don't rush." The woman did as she was told. Chief took her arm and carefully pulled. The woman emerged from inside the car. But the real challenge was with the driver. The man was unconscious and trapped in the steering wheel area. Chief crawled under the car. From there, he could better see the driver's condition. He identified where he was stuck. The problem was in the pedals area. The man's foot was caught there.
For a normal person, this would be nearly impossible. But Chief, from under the car, he reached his hand at a perfect angle, carefully freed the driver's foot, and pulled him out of the car. The entire operation took 90 seconds. When the ambulance arrived, both the woman and driver were outside the car at a safe distance. Both were alive. The paramedics were amazed. "Who performed this rescue operation?" the lead medic asked. Mike, Danny, and Carlos pointed to Chief, but he had already returned to his old self. He wiped his hands on his pants and was quietly walking back into the shop. "Wait," said the lead medic. "That rescue operation, it was perfect. Are you a professional rescue worker?" Chief stopped, looked back. "Just a mechanic," he said. But the young workers couldn't understand how he had moved so calmly, so professionally. This couldn't be coincidence. That's when Carlos noticed something. During the rescue operation, Chief had rolled up his shirt sleeves, and Carlos saw a faded tattoo on his left arm, in an area usually covered by clothing. At first, he couldn't make out exactly what it was, but looking closer, wings, with very small letters written underneath. Delta Force. Carlos's breath caught. Delta Force. This was America's most elite Special Forces unit. Only the most select soldiers were accepted, carrying out the most classified operations. And this tattoo, this was a real Delta Force tattoo. "Danny," Carlos whispered. "Danny, come here. Look at this." Danny approached. Carlos pointed to Chief's arm. Chief hadn't noticed yet. Danny's eyes widened. "What does this mean?" "It means Delta Force," Carlos said. "So Chief used to be—" Mike had also approached. "What's going on here?" "Look at the tattoo on Chief's arm," Danny said. Mike looked, and he froze too. "This is impossible. Delta Force? Is this real?" That's when Chief noticed the young men staring at him. He realized they had seen the tattoo on his arm. He paused for a moment. Then he smiled. But this smile was different from before. Deeper, more weighted. "You're curious, aren't you?" he said calmly. All three nodded. Chief approached them. For the first time, he was going to have such a long conversation with them. I retired 25 years ago. I served 12 years in Delta Force. I was involved in operations in various parts of the world. Then I came here. I wanted a quiet life." "But why?" Carlos asked. "I mean, why didn't you ever tell us?" "Because that life is behind me," Chief said. "Now I'm just a mechanic until situations like today arise." "Today's rescue operation," Danny began. "Reflex. Some things are never forgotten, but I'm not that man anymore." Mike asked, "Does anyone else know?" "The shop owner Bill knows. He also served in the Navy. When he talked to me 25 years ago, I told him about my past. He promised never to tell anyone." The young men fell silent. They were looking at Chief with completely different eyes now. "But you know now," Chief said. "I'm going to ask you something. This stays between us, okay? I found peace here. I don't want to return to that old life." All three nodded. "Of course, Chief," Carlos said. "Your secret is safe with us." Chief smiled. "Thank you. Now let's get back to work. These cars won't fix themselves." But nothing was the same anymore. In the following days, the atmosphere at the shop had changed. The young men showed greater respect for Chief, but this respect wasn't fear. It was admiration. They began to watch Chief's every move more carefully. How he solved problems, how he stayed calm, how he made the right decision in every situation. And they realized that Chief wasn't just teaching them mechanics, he was teaching them discipline. He was teaching them responsibility. He was teaching them to stay calm. One day, Danny was struggling with a difficult car problem. He had worked on it for hours, but couldn't solve it. "Chief, could you help me?" he asked. Chief approached, listened to the engine. "What do you think the problem is?" he asked. "Could be the injector system, but I'm not sure." "How did you reach this conclusion?" Danny explained his reasoning. Chief listened, then nodded. "You're on the right track, but there's one more step. Listen to the sound again, but this time, close your eyes. Focus only with your ears." Danny did as suggested, and this time he listened more carefully. "Ah," he suddenly said, "the sound is a bit different. Not the injector, it's the fuel pump." "Bravo," Chief said. "Now you're not just looking, you're listening too." These kinds of moments began to multiply. Chief was passing on not just technical knowledge to the young men, but life philosophy. But the most important change occurred during emergencies. A week later, a small fire broke out in the shop. It started from an electrical contact. In the past, the young men would have panicked in such situations. But this time, Danny stayed calm. He cut the electricity. Carlos brought the fire extinguisher. Mike ensured safe evacuation. Chief was standing in the corner watching them. He was smiling. "Very good," he said after the fire was out. "You stayed calm, made the right decisions. This is real training." From that day on, the young men understood that Chief was not only a mechanic, but also an instructor. Months passed. The quality of work at the shop improved. Customers began to notice how professionally the young men worked. Mistakes decreased, customer satisfaction increased, and Chief remained quiet. But now the young men knew what lay behind his silence. One day, Carlos gathered the courage to ask, "Chief, do you ever miss it? I mean, those old days?" Chief put down the wrench in his hand and thought. "I don't miss it, because I'm experiencing the best part of those days here too." "How so?" "Teamwork, helping people, solving problems. The only difference is, now I use wrenches instead of weapons." The young men smiled. "And," Chief continued, "I can teach you something. That's enough for me." That evening, everyone at the shop went home with bigger smiles, because now they knew that beside them was not just a mechanic, but a mentor, a teacher, a hero. And he was teaching them to fix not just cars, but life itself. Chief, as always, quietly locked the doors, turned off the lights, and went home. But now he also knew that his hidden past had made him a more valuable person, because true strength lay in helping others quietly. Sometimes the greatest heroes don't wear uniforms. They wear work clothes. They don't seek recognition. They seek purpose. And sometimes the man fixing your car used to save the world. Chief never asked for a thank you. He never told his war stories. He just showed up every day, fixed what was broken, and made everything a little bit better. Because that's what real heroes do. They serve in silence until someone needs them to step into the light.